Greetings, everybody, all the Sequoia Crest group. This is Jim Clark from Indianapolis. David has asked me to put together a virtual tour. So what I'd like to do is just kind of orient you. This is a Google Earth tour, all right? And we'd like to take you over just real quickly to the British Isles, the United Kingdom. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit down to the lower part, the Cornwall coast. Some of us are familiar with this area. There's a nice little place down there called Halligan Gardens. I hope to visit there someday. And if you're around Halligan, you might as well just pop up the street. You may want to visit this place called the Eden Project. How about that? All right, I'm going to take you out of the British Isles back across the pond to the western United States. We're going to zoom you in California, a zoom from the ocean to the mountains. Everybody will generally fly into Fresno Airport if you're going to visit Sequoia Crest. And what I want to show you, we're going to zoom out of Fresno. I'm going to take you directly west here for just a moment. Directly west to the water is Monterey Bay. Okay, that's where the Monterey Bay Aquarium is. You come eastward, there's Fresno. So we're going to continue. When you fly into Fresno, you will drive southwest to Porterville. All right. Once in Porterville, you should get food. This is the last town. It's still in the valley. You're right at the base of the mountains. Well, once you go in the mountains, there's not a whole lot. So get your food in Porterville, and when you start up into the mountains, the very first thing you're going to see is this reservoir. Now here we are looking up into the mountains, the reservoir again onto our right. You will be traveling by car up this road. So we're gonna go by air right now toward the 7,000 foot destination. We're looking over here to a place called Camp Nelson. Camp Nelson was our headquarters during our very first mission in June. All right, here's Camp Nelson. We're going to swing around the backside of Camp Nelson. And I want you to see that there's a road that goes from Camp Nelson. I'm going to bring you back around. I hope you don't get seasick. Camp Nelson, if you look up this mountain here, you can see that the thread, this looks like a thread. Look at the road. This is the road that you have to travel to get up to Sequoia Crest. All right, it's a winding road. So I'm going to pull you back out of here. You're going to see that again in a moment. So if we come around Camp Nelson from up in the mountain looking down, we're going to zoom in to the Sequoia Crest community. There's the Sequoia Crest Mountain where all the sequoias are, but there's a community that has a band of 3 roads, and it's on the front side of this mountain. And you can see it as we zoom in. Here's where the community is. Here we are over the community. You can see the homes. And right up here, when we center, this is the end of the road. You can see the last few houses in the center now. And once you go from that trifurcation at the bottom down this road, you're going to come to a sawmill site down the hill. But it says lodge site. It's actually a mill site. We're going to look at a few other views. Okay, here we are backing out of the mountain. All right, I'm going to come up over the top of the mountain and look down. All right, at the bottom where it says Pond to Lodge, there's a pond there. If you go north over top of the peak, over past the SC1, over to the lodge site, that's the mountain from this side to that side. And then SC2 is the north side. I wish I could draw a line around it. But we're going to come around. We're going to go to that lodge site. I'm just going to fly you around, and then I'm going to back you out. All right? Because there's something special I want to show you here. You can see the sequoias. The sequoias are throwing a shadow. Okay, so the big trees throw a bigger shadow, and you can see they're just the dark blotches. If you just look, see the dark all over, so they're scattered all over in groves. All right, so we're going to continue back up. I want to back up the mountain, look down the mountain at the reservoir. This is from up high looking across Sequoia Crest. And we're going to come back to Sequoia Crest for this view. I'm going to back out a little bit and come around this side. I want you to see it. Okay. I'm going to swing back around to the Camp Nelson area. I'm going to keep the sky in the skyline. All right, we're just going to fly around to a couple of different places. All right. How does that look to you? All right, we're going to come back toward the Sequoia Crest community. You see the band of three roads. Here we are coming around it again. And I'm going to go right up on top of the mountain. I want you to see this view. It's like we're in a helicopter, swinging around and coming down. That right there is pretty much the property. Right in, it does not include the community at the bottom left. So I'm going to move the community just off the screen. All right? And you see the lodge site to the back, and just beyond the lodge site is a river. I think that's a border. So it's an entire mountaintop, and you can see the dark patterning crescenting over that north face. Those are the sequoia groves, but the sequoias are all up and down this range. There just happens to be the 2 of the 5 largest trees in the world on this property. And if we can come down here, I'm going to bring you down to this lodge site, because those two large trees are just down here in this little valley that I'm going to center. Yeah, I don't know if we can see the waterfall tree and the stag tree, but you can see there's the trails. Pretty interesting. All right, I'm gonna zoom you out, and we're gonna end this. Okay. There's our mountain again. Right. Here we are on top of the mountain. One last view, and I'm gonna do something special here. I'm gonna back out. We're gonna back out to space. We're in a balloon right now. We're going to the ionosphere. All right. There's the reservoir to the left. There's Porterville. There is Fresno. And to our left, there is now the ocean. There is Southern California. There is all of California. There is the western half of the United States. All right. And now for fun, let's zoom back in. And then we will call it a day. Here we go. The magic that is Google Earth. Sequoia Crest Group, I'm glad to be part of this. I think it's the coolest project I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm honored to be part of it. Sequoia Crest. There's the mountain. There it is. You want to go on would you like to go on top of the mountain? We can do that. You know how we do that? We do ground view. Boom, look at that. And then we exit ground view, and we can look at the peak of the mountain. Check that out. You could land a helicopter up here. All right, we're going to back out, and we're going to call it a day. Here we go. There's the mountain top. There's the contour of the mountain. There's the lodge site in the back. There's the pond to the right. And then there's the Sequoia Crest community to the left. Below you'll see what is a meadow. It looks like a golf course runway. This is not part of the property, but it's what they wanted to create a ski hill a long time ago. Our property is north. It would be at the bottom here and would include the pond. So I'm going to back out. That's our mountaintop. That's what we're talking about. The demarcation in green tone is simply a shadow. It was where the sun was that time of day. David Millark's phone is ringing. Thank you, that's all.